The Holy Gospel according to St. John, the 11th chapter.
Glory to you, Lord.
This is the last of a long series of really long Gospels. You may be seated. I know that's unusual, but I don't want people falling out of the pews. Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Mary was the one who anointed the Lord with perfume and wiped his feet with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was ill. So the sister sent a message to Jesus, "Lord, he whom you love is ill." But when Jesus heard it, he said, "This illness does not lead to death, rather it is for God's glory, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Accordingly, though Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, after having heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Then after he said this to the disciples, "Let us go to Judea again." The disciples said to him, "Rabbi, the Jews were just now trying to stone you, and are you going there again?" Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours of daylight? Those who walk during the day do not stumble because they see the light of the world. But those who walk at night stumble because light is not in them." After saying this, he told them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to awaken him." The disciples said to him, "Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he'll be all right." Jesus, however, had been speaking about his death, but they thought that he was referring merely to sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. For your sake, I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Thomas, who is called the Twin, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us also go. That way we may die with him." When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, some 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them about their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, while Mary stayed at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask of him." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world." When she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary and told her privately, "The teacher is here and is calling for you." And when she heard it, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. The Jews who were there with her in the house consoling her saw Mary get up quickly and go out. They followed her because they thought that she was going to the tomb to weep there. When Mary came out where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in his spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus began to weep. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could he not who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Then Jesus, again greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, already there is a stench because he's been dead 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus looked upward and said, "Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I've said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Many of the Jews, therefore, who had come with Mary and had seen what Jesus had done, believed in him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
Grace to you and peace from God the Father and from Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
Amen. I know that some of you have done these things, but probably most of us have known someone who's either gone ziplining, or have ridden in a hot air balloon, or have maybe jumped out of a perfectly good airplane for no reason except to jump. And we all know those people. And when they come to us and they want to tell their stories, they try the best they can, but really, how do you describe to someone what it's like to fly through the air on a zip liner? Or how do you tell someone what it's like to jump out of a perfectly good airplane when you actually have a brain and there's no reason to do it? I don't ever understand it. But nevertheless, they try to describe it, but certain experiences just cannot be described. The only way to ever understand or get a taste of it is to experience it for yourselves. And that's exactly what's happening this morning. I love this text. I think it's extremely moving. Every time I read it, it kind of shakes me up on a visceral level because it reaches the deepest core of our faith. It's interesting because we often think that resurrection is only about the hereafter and it's only about the sweet by and by. And in a real sense, it is. We all believe in the resurrection, like Mary and Martha were claiming and proclaiming and witnessing to, that in the last day we'll all raise and we'll see each other again. And we know that. And that's the hope and the promise of our faith. And I believe that with every fiber of my being. But I also believe that in John's Gospel, relationship and resurrection are connected. And there's a lot more to resurrection just than the last day. This particular text lands right, it's a short lesson. This particular is right in the middle of John's Gospel. There are 10 chapters before it, and there are 10 chapters after it. That means this is a pivotal point in John's Gospel. Jesus has performed all kinds of signs up to this point, and this is like the ultimate sign, the raising of the dead. No one had ever seen this before. And so the Jewish leadership and other leaders, and of course all those connected with Rome, knew that Jesus would gain followers. They knew that people would hear about this because it had never happened before. And if you think we've got an information line now, that had one back then also. News traveled very quickly. And as soon as people found out that Jesus had that kind of power, who wouldn't want to follow him? I mean, what an amazing thing. Who wouldn't want to be around when your friends die so he could bring them back up? I mean, and they knew that there were hordes at the feeding of the 5,000, but they knew that was going to be nothing compared to what this was going to be. And ultimately, with that many people, there would be a rebellion. And people, they didn't want it. And so it was decided later that, maybe it's better for the good of y'all that we kill this one man so that we don't all have to suffer. And so we'll get to that story. But not yet. Today, we talk about the resurrection. Right here, it's pivotal. It's the story of stories. If we don't get anything else at all today, I really want you to hear there's more than one understanding of resurrection. Resurrection in John's Gospel, I really want you to hear this. Resurrection in John's Gospel is when he talks to a woman who's been rejected by an entire community. A woman who has to go by herself at noonday, the hottest part of the day, to draw water because she can't be around anyone else. Resurrection is having a conversation with someone like that. And then being restored to full community, being restored to be bold enough to talk to the men in her community, and to be fully established as a child of Israel. That is a resurrection story. A resurrection story is a blind man who had mud put on his eyes and told him to go wash in the pool of Siloam, let's see what happens. And then coming out and then being able to see that, hey, I really am a sheep of Jesus' own flock. That is a resurrection story. A resurrection story is a man who's died, who's been in the tomb 4 days, and the Jewish understanding of mysticism, that means you're really dead. You are all the way dead. They have this notion, some of them, that the spirit hung around for a little while, but after 4 days, it's too late. But resurrection in John's Gospel is when you're in that tomb 4 days and you hear your name called, Lazarus come out, you arise and you awake and you walk out of that tomb. That's what resurrection is in John's Gospel. And it's both and. It's the people who are restored to new life that know that hope is not dead. It's the people that know that they're granted a second chance. We all know that death changes everything. It changes everything. If you've ever known anyone that you've loved, if you've ever loved anyone that's died, you know that when that person is gone, your life will never be the same. Ever. And we could end there, we could sit down and say, man, that's just sad. But that's not the end of the story. Thanks be to God, that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is this text today that gives us hope. Because Lazarus is raised, that is an example that when we are raised, we will recognize each other. And all the resurrection texts that we haven't gotten to yet, and I'm cheating, that when Jesus shows up, resurrected, they recognize each other through the pain and through the agony, but they still recognize him, and they know who he is, and because that happened, we know that we'll recognize each other. We will see each other again. It won't be the same, but at least we'll see each other again. And the love will still be there because the one thing that the Bible says lives on all through into eternity. There's only one thing that Jesus ever said did live into eternity. Anybody remember what it was?
Love.
Oh, for crying out loud. Let's sing it together. Love. Yeah, you really meant it, didn't you? Let's say it one more time. Love. It's the one thing that lasts all the way to eternity. All the way through eternity. Because that's what God is. The God who is there when people die. The God who's beside you and holding your hand. The God who's there when it happens. The God who promises this isn't the end of the story. You'll see him again, but not yet. But in the meantime, there is resurrection. And in the meantime, there's new life for all of us. Our lives may never be the same. Sometimes it feels like that, you know what? I don't know if I can even get up and rise tomorrow for the next day. And I know some of you are going through this right now. But the good news is we do. And the good news is that God provides people in all sorts of mysterious places and ways to be there, to be the one, to be God's presence in that moment, to see you through that moment, that day, one day at a time. And that's how we get through it. We don't ever get over death. You will forever love Alan and keep his memory alive and tell the stories. And it's okay to cry at weird times. Try not to when you're driving. It's weird because I've done it. But except for driving, if you break out into tears, it is okay. Our culture does not know how to weep, and we just don't know how to grieve anymore. We need to let ourselves do that. Let ourselves be sad. Let ourselves acknowledge that Alan was alive. And he's not here anymore. Let that be okay. Because we know we'll see him again. We know we'll see all of our loved ones again. And more than that, we know that we too, when we die on that day, God will be there. And we too will rise. And that's the good news. That is the core of our hope and the core of our faith. That's why we can march into church Sunday after Sunday and proclaim this an Easter day, because every Sunday the church is an Easter Sunday where we proclaim that he is risen from the dead and we too will rise with him. That's the promise. And we have those Jesus moments. And all of you had them, I know. Well, you may not want to acknowledge it, but we have those Jesus moments where we know there's been a divine moment, a divine touch. They come in all different ways, and there's no way to describe them all. But even if you don't remember one of those moments, if you've been baptized, you had it. You had your Jesus moment when this water was splashed all over you, when you were dunked. Whatever happened to you in your baptism, you had your Jesus moment. Oh, you can get wet. And that is the good news. Because, we chase it and good Lutherans, all of us, no matter what leg we have, I don't care what your single is, good Lutherans teach, when we drown with Jesus, we are raised back up with him. That is the core of our faith. That is our belief. That's our hope. That's why we can come here and praise God. That we serve a God of life who promises to be with us all through each and every moment of that life, up to and including eternity. Amen?
Amen.
May the peace which passes all human understanding keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus our Lord.
Amen.